Okay, we're going to take the algebra that we've been learning and add a little step to it. Just remember, our goal in these equations is to always get the letter, which usually at this point are x's. Get the x by itself because you want to figure out what the x is. All right. The other thing to remember is that what you add to one side of the problem, you have to add to the other side of the problem. If you remember those two things, it's pretty easy. So if I look at 3x plus 2 equals 11, I see that I have nothing to do on that 11 side, but I have 3 times x and I have plus 2. All right, so anyway, let me text somebody back real quick and tell them I will. Second. I'm in the middle of a lesson with my students, period. I'll text you back in a minute. Okay, so here we go. We have 3x plus 2. Before I get rid of that 3 next to the x, let's get rid of the 2. And the way to do that is just to do minus 2, which we've already done that. And then put minus 2 over here. Okay, and I'm putting an equal sign because minus 2 equals minus 2. So I'm not really changing the equation, just moving things around. So on this side, this is gone, but I'm still left with 3x. On this side, I have 9. Okay, now at this point, we're already to where we've already been in the past. So I know that 3 times x, I need to divide by x, then 9 divided by 3 over here. Actually, I could have just put the 3 under the 9. This leaves x by itself. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So let's try it. Let's put the 3 in place of the x, and we're going to add 2. See if that equals 11. So 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2. Guess what? It equals 11. So it wasn't any harder. It's just like one more step, but you already know how to do it. All right, so in x divided by 4 minus 3 equals 1. Oops. Let's get rid of the minus 3 on this side by making it a plus 3. So I'm going to put a plus 3 over here. So now I'm left, this will be gone. Now I'm left with x over 4. And over here, 1 plus 3 is 4. Now I'm going to times by 4 to get rid of it. Times this side by 4. This side is left with x. This side has 16. Let's check it. 16 divided by 4 equals, minus 3. Sorry. Minus 3 equals 1. So this 16 divided by 4 is 4. Minus 3. And that does equal 1. All right, so do you see why back when the problem was so easy you could do it in your head, I said it's not so important that you can solve this as much as you know how to do the steps, because it's going to keep getting harder and harder where you can't do it in your head, and you're going to have to know the steps in order to solve the problem. All right, so on this one, I'm going to add 9 to both sides. I should keep an equal in there if I can fit it. This side is gone. This side has 5x. This side has 30. Opposite is divide. This part is the old part we already know how to do. Now let's put it in there. 5 times 6 minus 9 equals 21. Does 30 minus 9 equal 21? Yes. All right. All right, x divided by 2 plus 3 equals 6. Let's do minus 3. minus 3. I'm left with x over 2 over here, and I got 3 over here. This is times 2, times 2. And I get 6. So I have 6 divided by 2 plus 3 equals 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3, isn't it? What's 3 plus 3? 6. Alright. Alright. This one is just kind of like an old one. 5 plus 2 was 7, right? Divided by 7, we get 1. On this one, do your exponent first. And you get 9. Then do minus 8 on both sides. And you have 1. Is 1 plus 8 the same as 3 squared? Yep. Okay, so this one, they're going to throw an exponent in there. Just do it first. Now, subtract that 4 on both sides. Over here, you're left with x over 3. Over here, you're left with 1. Times it by 3 on both sides. And you should get that x equals 4. Let's see if it works. 4 over 3 plus 2 squared equals 5. So this is 4 over 3 plus 4. Oh, wait. Did I do something wrong? Oh, this is a 3, isn't it? Sorry, right here is where I messed up. Did you catch me? Hopefully you did. Alright, I don't have you guys to yell at me when I mess up. Alright, so this is x, and this is 3 this time. I was like, that's not working out. So now we have 3 over 3 plus 2 squared equals 5. Now it's 1 plus 4 equals 5. 5 equals 5. My computer's talking to me. Alright. On this one, let's do the exponent first and get 9. Now do plus 7 and plus 7. 2x equals 16. Divided by 2 on both sides, I get 8. Let's see if I'm correct. 2 times 8 is 16. Minus 7 does equal 9. Alright. I'll do A, B, and D with you. Alright. So first we're going to multiply these. What would we call it? Our borrowing carrying number for this one. If we're in ounces and pounds, our number would be 16, right? Because there's 16 ounces in a pound. So 4 times 6 is 24 ounces. And 6 times 3 is 18 pounds. Can we take a pound out of those ounces? We sure can. We can take 1 out and make this 19. If we take a pound out, which is 16 ounces, out of the 24 ounces, I'm left with 8 ounces. Alright, B, we have weeks and days, so our borrow carry number is 7. 6 plus 2 plus 5 is 13. And 3 plus 5 plus 6 is 14 weeks. Alright, 13 days is more than a week. Can't get 2 weeks out of that because that would be 14 days. But we can get 1 week out. So let's add the week over to here. 7 away from the 13. I'm left with 6 days. All right, let's do D. If I have 3 inches on top, I can't take away 7 inches. So my borrow carry number in this one is 12, by the way, because there's 12 inches in a foot. I'm going to borrow a foot, bring it over here into the inches. So I need to take that 12, which is a foot, add it to the 3, and now over here I have 15 inches. 15 minus 7 is 8 inches, and 8 minus 2 is 6 feet. All right, let's look at the back. Okay. Using proportions. Solve for N. Okay. I'm not going to read the top, but we can look at the bottom. So I'm pretty sure I think I know what they're doing. All right. So let's just use what we've learned in algebra to solve this problem. Just think of it as an algebra problem. Even though usually our x is on this side. But if our x is on this side, it doesn't matter. Still, I want to get x by itself, right? So to get rid of x divided by 11, I'm going to multiply by 11, aren't I? So this side, I'm going to multiply by 11. So I'm going to write it again down here. This side's just gone. All right. So think of this as 11 over 1. I cannot do any cross canceling. So I have 33 over 7 equals x, right? I'm going to find this answer so I can check my answer. Okay, in the end. Okay, 7 goes into 33, I think, 4 times. And that's 28. If I do 33 minus 28, I think I get a 5. And that's over 7. And when I look at the book, I have the right answer. All right. So what they're saying is, which is kind of strange, but 3/7 equals 4 5/7 divided by 11 is really what that is. All right. Let's do one more together. All right, x divided by 7 equals 5 over 13. So I'm going to multiply by 7. When I get to the bottom here, I start messing up. And I'll multiply this side by 7. So this side is just gone. This side is 35 over 13. How many 13s can I get out of 35? Well, 2 of them would be 26. 3 of them would be 39, which is too much. So we can do 2 of them. 35 minus 26 is 9 over 13. All right. See if you can do at least C on your own. And if you want the extra points, you can do D. Let's look at the first story pattern. So you have a 3.5 inch by 5 inch photo, and you want to enlarge it to a similar rectangle. If the width is 6 inches, what should the length be? Wow. So this is, it's a 3.5 times 5, and we want that to equal 6, because that's the width, the first one, times something. I need more room. I'm going to, let's see if I can find a place on here to write, because they don't give us enough room for that. All right, so let's treat this like an algebra problem. First of all, I want to make my life easy and change that 3.5 to 3.5. So I'm going to write up here and see if I can fit it up here. 3.5. And I'm going to put the 5 in parentheses, just because I want to change this blank down here to an x. So 3.5 times 5 equals 6 times x. We don't know what x is. All right. So I think, if I'm thinking correctly, which I might be wrong, I'm totally winging this. I think we divide this by 5. I don't know why I put that in parentheses. I don't need to put that in parentheses. Because this is times 5, right? So this would be divided by 5. No, I don't want to do that. 3 times 5. No, I take that back. Let me erase this. We want to solve this because we can. 3.5 times 5, right? Oh. All right. I don't have any room in here. Let me try to fit it. So let's do 3.5 times 5. Do you get 17.5? I think I do. Yes. So that equals 6x. At that point, let's get rid of that by do divided by 6. So this would be divided by 6. So 17.5 divided by 6. And I totally don't have room. Let's try it over here. 17.5 divided by 6. So 6 goes into 17 twice, and that would be 12. And that would be 5.5, right? So 6, well, I don't need that decimal down there. That makes it a little confusing. I do need to put the decimal right here, though. All right, so 6 into 55 would be 9, which would be 54. And that's 1 left over. I'm going to go ahead and add another 0. I'm going to annex a 0, they call it. 6 into 10 would be 1. And that would be a 6 and a 4. Let's add another 0. We'll take it out one more place. That would be 6 times. And at that point, I don't need to go any further because I'm going to round it anyway. So I'm getting 2.92, which this is getting really hairy. So I'm getting a little nervous. But I'm getting 2.92 equals x. Okay? So at that point, if I go back up to the original problem, I want to multiply this 2.92 times the 6. I'm going to see what I get, and then I'm going to look at their answer and see if I did it pretty correct anyway. It might be rounded a little differently. 54, 55, 12, 17. So I'm thinking my length should be about 17.52. No, wait. No, I totally got a different answer than that. Ah! All right. You know, let me erase all this. So they totally don't show me what they did. Let's see here. 3.5. All right, I'm going to pause you guys for a minute and figure this out, and I'm going to bring you right back. Hold on just a second. Okay. So, I figured this out. My problem was I was changing that 1/2 to a decimal. Just kind of changes my answer. So, if you have a photo and it's 3.5 inches by 5 inches, and what you're doing is you're enlarging that 3.5 to a 6. So these are your two widths, right? So what they've done is, and this is a little confusing here, so they do 3.5. This is way harder than you've ever done. They have 3.5, and you're changing it to the 6. You're going from 3.5 to 6 inches in width. That has to be proportional. Then your length has to be that same proportion. So your length was 5 originally, and we want to know what the new length is. This is how they are setting up the problem. We're going to do 5 divide. How many times? 3.5 times what? And that's where you're going back to some old stuff you done. Times what equals 5. And at this point, we're missing part of our multiplication problem. So what we'll do is we'll do 5 divided by 3.5. Let me set it up like this. 5 divided by, what is 3.5 is an improper fraction? It is 7/2. Now remember, when you have division and you have fractions, flip it. And at this point, we have 10/7. And just leave that like that. So our missing number is 10/7. So 3.5 times 10/7 will give you 5. All right. So then that means we are going to do 6 times 10/7 to get the bottom number. We're looking for this new length. So let me just put it over 1. You can almost see it. It's just 60/7. And then 7 goes into 60 8 times, which would be 56. 60 minus 56 is 4. And keep the 7. So after all that, it's 8 4/7 inches. Crazy. Crazy question, right? I think we're going to skip B just because I took so long figuring that one out. If you want to try to figure that one out, you can. How about we count this as extra because these are quite tricky. Okay? All right. Have a great day, and I will talk to you later. If you have any questions, if you have to solve this one, by the way, Judson, and you're having any problems with it, you and I can talk about it and figure it out together. All right? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.